Welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live and presented by Ghost Chevrolet.
Man, it's been chugging cough drops. They don't work.
I'm telling you, can't leave
Not
anything
even
around
his.
here. Can't leave anything around here. Sorry about
Thief.
that. Sorry about that. Thought for sure you'd have more.
I left a little pile of cough drops here.
That is not an excuse. I did think you would have more, though.
I mean,
As a mom, she probably should.
I do, but I brought them inside. I left a pile here yesterday, so I'd have them this morning, and I get here, and they're gone.
You're just so good.
They're Ricola. I mean, like, they're not candy.
That's the weirdest excuse that he likes the taste
I know.
of them.
I'm like, where are my cough drops? Oh, I ate those. What?
Not even sick.
I was eating two at a time.
I'm trying to cut the carbs. I eat cough drops as candy.
Was that sherbet?
Sherbet.
What was the flavor?
Like
Original
herbal.
Ricola.
They're herbal
It's a
Ricola.
tea.
Ricola.
Cola.
Yes, no, I know the brand. I know the commercial. I thought it was
I'm
a
glad you
different. I thought it
enjoyed
was
A new flavor.
I thought it was a different flavor.
It was not.
Spent my afternoon looking for Ricola sherbet flavor.
Man didn't do any work at all. He's just
my
had 10
God.
Google pages open of Ricola. Where's this flavor?
I had all the money in the world. Every dime I had, I would have bet against myself for staying up and watching LSU and Oregon last night. I'd have lost.
You made
I
it?
stayed up and watched every single pitch, man.
I thought I would be the only
It
one
was
staying
incredible.
up.
I thought for sure. I mean, I knew I was not going to be the one.
No, I knew that too.
But I was. And I saw Lloyd was tweeting out after the game. You stayed up.
A couple of whiskeys will get that Twitter fingers hot.
Absolutely. And especially the adrenaline that hits you at like
That's what I was
12:30.
feeling,
Like,
yes.
Now, what do we do?
I was post-coital, dude. I didn't know what to
It's
do
like
with
a new
myself.
world.
It
No, it was
was.
like, y'all are so old. What do you mean? I was just getting
no,
started.
every pitch? Every pitch?
Oh, yeah, I was up the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, so many stories of last night's win. LSU, incredible. Fourth straight game with elimination as a possibility. Tigers stay alive and stamp their ticket for the 25th time in program history. They win a regional. They do it away from home for the first time since '89. Ben McDonald, who was on the call last night, was the starting pitcher in game one of a doubleheader in which they had to win two in College Station in 1989. That was the last time LSU baseball, storied LSU baseball, historic LSU baseball, was able to win a win a road regional. They did that last night, 9-8 over Oregon. If you're a Duck fan, you're waking up this morning just sick.
Ugh.
That feels like a nightmare. That feels like it never happened, right?
It all happened so fast, too.
I wanted to call Doug Thompson on the balk. I mean, I know.
You know, he was screaming in his
the
chair.
whole time.
He was the Leonardo DiCaprio meme, standing up and pointing at the TV.
The Ducks walk in the game-winning run to lose 9-8. LSU was able to hang on with Landon Marceau on the mound. We thought about the possibility yesterday. I was going back and forth with Chris Reed, texting last night. I was asking him, do you go to Fontenot? He was telling me, F no, you don't do that. He's been too quick on the hook tonight, and your best pitcher is on the mound. You either live or die.
You
with
can't,
Landon Marceau.
you can't be wrong with Marceau out there, and you can tell. I think Paul hinted at this in his post game where he's like, I went out there to maybe make a change, and it's like I couldn't take the ball from him. I had the hold the rope tweet ready though. I was ready to fire it off.
A lot of hold the ropes.
For
Lot of
Fontenot to
hold the
come
ropes.
in, you know
I
that
didn't
was coming
tweet
out.
One thing.
There we
Lot of-
For
go.
Yes.
this whole series.
She's learning.
Where the hell are my cough drops?
Exactly. Exactly.
Sherbert. Coming up this morning on the Jordy Culotta Show, we will talk to Ross Dellenger in an hour, 8:15. He'll stop by here. Delly broke the news yesterday. Nick Saban hanging out for another decade in Tuscaloosa as his contract was extended. We'll ask Dellenger about the terms there. I think this is a direct line to Arch Manning and his recruitment.
Yeah, it's very all calculated, which is
Cooper and the
infuriating.
Mannings are supposed to be touching down in Tuscaloosa, I believe, this week or sometime soon. And I think the opening line of Saban's recruiting message is that contract extension showing Arch that it just runs right and through his eligibility.
Just in case you want to stay for 4 years and win 4 national championships, I've got that extra year in there for
Right.
you.
I know we talked about the huge recruiting weekend for LSU, and it was enormous. We talked to Walker Howard yesterday, but some of the highlights that have come out from Arch Manning's workout up at Clemson were pretty impressive.
Little ball spin for no
I
reason.
saw
Did you
that.
see
Flipping
that?
the ball and then
drops it
yeah.
right
Well,
in over the
he
defender.
pump fakes it, then ball
Flicks
spin.
it.
You usually see the ball spin off the snap to find the laces, but after you pump fake, you're usually gripped. And he pump fakes it, spins
Spins
it,
it.
and then drops a dime.
Right over the defender who's draped on the receiver.
Dime.
And
How far do you think that thing traveled? I would say 50.
I would say 55.
55 at least. And I mean, he put it step for step in the bucket.
You know who the receiver was?
Eli said he taught him that. Do you see that?
Do you know who the receiver was?
They're not.
DJ Ugalele's Clemson's quarterback's brother.
Wow.
So they're getting a little,
Wow.
Of course. If I think Clemson and Alabama are probably.
I do too.
It
feels like
Clemson's in there.
Feels like it. And the dark horse in talking to people around New Orleans that are close and familiar to the situation is Texas and Sarkisian, because Sarkisian was his lead recruiter at Alabama for the first opening. Like kind of opening up his recruitment, and he's really carried over. Also, where Texas is separating themselves on the recruiting trail is name, image, and likeness. They've already got a program in place that they are presenting to future recruits that shows the power of Texas, the power of the brand, and how you can extend on that if you were a student athlete at Texas. But it sounded like LSU's plan yesterday, according to John Stefanski, Representative Stefanski, was on the cutting edge, and one that a lot of states were looking at trying to mirror, with the opportunity of giving the school, the university, LSU. So if Max Johnson wants to promote something that LSU is aligned with, they would allow him to wear some type of color, some type of logo representing LSU as well. So there's a lot of stuff in there.
Dude, they can have him. We got Walker Howard slinging PS5s. We're good. We're good. We're good at the quarterback position.
If you missed the Walker Howard interview, make sure that you check it out. As it was on Facebook. It's all over the place. A good discussion with Walker about the weekend. First time working out in front of Jake Pete. Some of his first discussions with some future teammates and a lot of the recruits that were there this weekend. You can check that out online. And all of it brought to you by RMB Builders. Remember, daily we're driven and powered here by Go Chevrolet. Everybody that appears via the phone lines. I told you Dellenger will be here 8:15 talking about college football, Saban's new contract, and some of the stories of the offseason. 8 a.m., Frank Wilson will be here. He's got a big camp coming up that he's actually going to join and partner up with Ed Ogeron and LSU. He will tell us about that at 8 o'clock. We'll also pick his brain on some of the recruiting and what some of the storylines are for what's happening down there in Lake Charles. 7:30 this morning, we will talk to Hunt Palmer. Hunt, who has really kind of laid out this scenario for the last couple of weeks of just get LSU into a win or die situation, and you hand the ball to Marceau and you see what happens, and LSU now still finds themselves alive going into a super regional weekend. So we'll talk to Hunt here, and then Mason Katz, as we talked to him yesterday, is set to go with us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. In fact, we can dial him up right now. Remember, our coffee is brought to you by Majestic Brews, and everybody that we talked to this morning is going to be brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Our friends over there, Jason Ramazan, and, of course, Charlie Harvey, who run the place. Real doctors, real solutions, online Metropolitan Health Group. And Jason Ramazan is, of course, Mr. Fun, who is putting together the trip to UCLA. LSU UCLA is on the docket for the first weekend of September. Ramo's got you taken care of with tickets, airfare, hotels all set up. Find out how you can book your spot on the trip to Pasadena with Mr. Funds Travel online at mrfunstravel.com. All right, let's talk a little bit about this LSU baseball game last night with somebody that knows it a lot more than us, Mason Katz, former All-American slugger, who we can dial up here. Oh, man, I'm not.
You're not connected to the blue. That's I tried to go producer mode and only go in your ear. I don't know if we even knew what happened.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I think I just did. Let me test one more time.
All right. Can you hear me? No.
No.
Okay, it didn't work.
What about now?
Man. Nice try. All right, let's see here.
Studio tricks.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Mason during the game? Or, was it jinxing
just
to do that?
I just talked to Chris Reed.
Okay.
Katz.
He is.
Hey, what's going on?
Good morning, buddy. How are we? We're live, man. It is a great morning. Every pitch? You stayed up and watch every pitch? Had to, huh?
I did. Once that thing came on, I had no problem staying up.
Yes, I agree, man. I said earlier, I would have bet against, I'd have bet against myself every dime that I got in my bank account and knew I would have lost, but I stayed up and watched every pitch because the thing was it was gripping.
My God, you couldn't look away. Something was happening every second.
It was unbelievable. Tell me about Gavin Dugas's performance. What'd you think? Because he was ready to go as soon as that thing jumped off. I mean, the first inning, he hits a moonshot and then he continues to be a storyline throughout last night's 9 innings. What did you make of Dugas's play?
Unbelievable game, but 2 homers are great, but that base running, scoring on that chopper is, I mean, that's, you work from day one you show up on campus, you start working on that contact play and how important it is to get the perfect jump. And that's why you work so hard on it. If he doesn't make that, they don't win.
Dude, how much is the oven mitt an advantage?
We talked about that last night. Does it extend a few inches? Gives you a little extra smooth slide? I don't know. I wish I would have worn them.
What is it? Is it just to protect your hand?
Yeah, it's just to protect your hand. I've seen most guys when they base run now wear it, just sliding in the bases, be able to slide head first and not worry about jamming fingers, I guess. I don't think we had any when I played, but I see most guys wear them now.
Would you go double oven mitt if you were out there now? Would you go 2-handed oven mitt? Because it seems to just be an advantage to be able to touch home plate or any base for that matter.
I would not. I mean, I wasn't fast enough to warrant any oven mitts, but I guess nowadays, I guess why not, right?
What did you make of last night's game, just all in all? Tell me, as a former baseball player at the caliber that you played at, watching that game, what did you take away from it?
I think it was kind of one of the game we were expecting, right? LSU's offense was kind of coming alive. The two guys been getting hot. I know they did it without Cruz last night, so, I mean, that's a positive moving into next weekend. But, you know, it was kind of one of the games we expected. The bats were kind of starting to get rolling, and if their pitchers could hang on. And we talked about it yesterday. If you can find a way to have a lead in the last couple innings, just you give it to your star, and hopefully he can close it out for you. It kind of fell right into their hands, being able to. They gifted us one towards the end there, but being able to get the ball to Landon at the end of the game with the lead was kind of, I think, their mindset the whole game.
Drew Bianco. When I say his name, what do you think of when you think of this team? I mean, the story on this guy is incredible. To think that he was in the transfer portal just 8 months ago, and Mainieri almost had to talk him back onto the team, and then here you are at a pivotal point of the season, and he's the hero.
Right. It's such an awesome story because, you know, it's one of those things. He's a great player, kid that, you know, maybe wasn't getting the playing time he wanted and thinking about leaving it, but he's a guy you want on your team. You want to keep around because you can plug him in whenever if he's not starting, but, you know, somebody's not playing great, or if you need to put him in multiple positions. He's just that guy you can kind of rely on that, you know, you're going to get solid defense out of, and he has the potential to do what he did last night, hit the ball a long way and really produce for you. I'm sure, just like everybody else, I'm sure glad he stuck around. But he's a player, man. He's just one of those utility guys that can play a really good defense and put a bat in the lineup that, you know, isn't going to be a problem adding him in there.
LSU advancing to the Super Regionals. They'll be in Knoxville taking on Tennessee for a 3-game set. The schedule will come out today, whether it'll start on Thursday or Friday. What are you thinking when you see him make these pitching moves? I mean, for people like us, the lay fan, we're streaming into our television. What are you doing? You're doing it too early. You're doing it too late. What do you think of the strategy when you see him going through the pitchers like he did last night? 6 in total throw in the deciding game in Eugene.
I think they had a game plan, and I don't think they were going to really waver from it. You know, I was a little surprised to see Hilliard start the game, but I actually thought maybe he would go an extra when the senior year guy. You know, I don't know what his plans are future-wise with playing after this, so kind of give it to him and let him throw. But I think they had a game plan, whether you didn't want their lineup to really see more than one pitcher, you know, more than once through the lineup. I think that was kind of their game plan, and you had a lot of young guys, so rather than just kind of giving them a chance to keep rolling and give their lineup another chance to see them, just throw different arms at them every time, and they stuck to their game plan. I know it wasn't super smooth the whole game, but it ended up working out. In the end, you got it to Landon with the lead.
Can you explain what happened with that balk call in the bottom of the 8th, I think, with just what were they doing thrown over that many times? I'm sure did they have some sort of play set up to blitz like a suicide squeeze maybe?
They must have. Well, I don't know if they clearly had a play set up because we were wondering why they were throwing over so much. I mean, he threw over enough times to see that Thompson had squared a couple times, and then after the first pitch, you could kind of see it was like a fake square around trying to bait them into thinking he was still doing it. It's one of those plays like in college, you would imagine that the coach is calling the pickoff there, and maybe somebody didn't relay it to the first baseman, or the first baseman's just trying so hard to make a play that he just didn't hold his ground long enough. And I don't know who kind of supposed to relay that to the first baseman from the dugout if they're calling a pickoff or what, but it's a tough situation. It's, as just a baseball fan in general, you don't really like to see that happen, but as an LSU fan, kind of did.
Absolutely.
That's typical LSU baseball. There's something's going to happen.
At some point, I mean, you could feel the pressure.
Yes.
It was tightening up, man. It was tightening up.
Absolutely. And that first baseman was just bouncing off the bag trying to make a play.
He was.
You got Beloso over there. He didn't even lead. He wasn't even taking a lead. He was just standing on the bag like, What are you doing here, boys? I'm not going anywhere.
Right. It was interesting that they chose to throw that many times when you got the gist that he was squaring around the first 4 times you threw over.
What do you think of the confidence of this team? It feels we talked about them going into the weekend, that with Mainieri's announcement, we figured that they would be playing loose and reading and listening to people who knew the game. A lot of people thought that they were the best team in that regional. What do you make of them now leaving with a regional championship, heading back to an SEC venue?
I think they're excited. I think, on top of a little bit of incentive with Coach Mainieri, this being his last year, it's an incentive to go back and play Tennessee. That series probably has a bad taste in their mouth from when they went early in the year. A couple of really, really close games. I know they got walked off, and, really a close series to where it could have flipped around the other way rather than losing those 3 games. So I think they really wanted to get back there. And now, you got playing with their hair on fire, having some fun. Really good experience for those young pitchers this weekend, pitching in some stressful postseason moments that, the next week could really benefit them.
That was the 25th time that LSU, the program, had won a regional. It's going back to a super regional for the 15th time. How much, while you're in it, do you pay attention to the history? How much is that a part of the motivation while you're even in the middle of the run?
I think you kind of hear about it between, but once you get there, getting ready to play, all you're thinking about is that one game. I think it's going to be a cool thing for them because it's not often that LSU is really an underdog in the postseason. And, now it's kind of you're going back to a team that already beat you. You get to kind of use that underdog role and use that as a little bit more motivation. And know it's not often LSU's won regionals on the road. So it's something new to them, but they've had guys that have played in home postseason games, and having that underdog mentality is a different animal. You kind of can embrace that and use that as fuel.
First time since '89 they win a regional on the road. Ben McDonald, who was on the call last night, was the starting pitcher in College Station the last time they accomplished that feat. As LSU moves on to Tennessee, we're talking about it here with Mason Katz. Did you think that they were going to keep Landon Marceau out there? Because when the television cameras kept going back to Devin Fontenot, I mean, he looked like a pit bull back there, just waiting to get out of the cage.
The wall, dude.
I mean, like it was almost like, I dare you to call on me.
They're throwing 1,000 miles an hour.
They kept showing him. I was like, I hope he's throwing between these camera showings, because if he comes in the game, it looks like he hasn't thrown a warm-up pitch in a little while. He wants to come in so bad he forgot to warm up. But yeah, I thought it was one of those situations that Landon was either winning that game in the 9th, or if they tied it up, he was coming out. I'll give Coach Mainieri some credit on, no matter what, he does care about his guys' futures. He wasn't going to run Landon's arm into the ground if they tied it up and just keep throwing him. He does care about that. So I think it was one of those situations that if that game gets tied or goes to any farther than that, I think that was Landon's last inning.
How do you watch these games as an alum? Like, are you on a text chain with like all your boys from the team, or are you just sitting in front of the TV like absolutely locked in?
Yeah, we text about it some. I was talking to a couple of my friends and some family last night, telling them like way enjoyed playing in these moments more than watching. It's horrible. I can't stand the anxiety of watching on TV, not being able to do anything. It was way easier to be on the field and be in the moment. But yeah, we sit there and text back and forth and talk about what's going on. And after the games, I always try to bother Nate Fury about what's going on. You know,
you have you've got babies at home. Did you wake them up last night? Were you screaming?
Nope. I got out the house and watched most of them, came home and watched the rest silently. So, I did my due diligence, didn't wake up. No, listen, I'm a fan and I care, but there are priorities.
That's exactly right. You want to watch the thing, for God's sake.
Correct.
As always, we will be checking back in with you through this super regional run. We appreciate your time. I know that you're very busy here going and heading to meetings. We appreciate the insight and talking about this run with LSU, as it feels like the postseason now, as the Tigers are on to the super regional with a chance for Omaha, just 2 games and 2 wins away. Thank you as always for the time. We'll talk again soon.
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
You got it. Sir. There is the former All-American slugger Mason Katz checking in here on this Tuesday morning, remembering last night as LSU stamps their ticket to the Super Regionals for the 15th time in program history with a 9-8 win over Oregon in last night's regional final out in Eugene. It was a good scene for LSU with Ben McDonald on the call as LSU will advance. We'll continue that conversation with Hunt Palmer here coming up in a couple of minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show.
When does it start? When does the Super Regional? Saturday?
I saw where it started on Saturday. Somebody inside
said
the
Friday
bunker,
or Saturday.
Somebody in the bunker said it was going to start on Saturday.
So when will they go?
I'm trying to confirm that. I would imagine you probably leave on Thursday. If it's a Saturday first.
So they'll
pitch.
have like literally a day back home.
Yeah. But and you've also got to get back into the time zone.
change. I'd imagine they're headed back now. Or do you leave last night or you stay?
Surely not last night.
I don't know if
you go to the Holiday Inn and go to the pool.
Totally. They're totally in the pool.
Check the blinds.
Like you're 12.
Check the blinds. Yeah. Who's at the pool? Nobody, Coach.
That's a girl.
All of them are in the pool.
Nobody in the pool.
Every guy.
Yeah, 6 weeks ago, they were all there.
Shit, 3 days ago.
Nobody's at the pool anymore. Daily here, we're brought to you, remember, by RMB Builders. Get in touch with Rhett Bourgeois and the crew at rmb-builders.com. Rhett is a custom contractor. He can help you with a custom-built home. He can also help you with a commercial project. He's helping me out with some remodel and some reconstruction over at the house. Let him help you out if you've been affected by some of the floods that have come through South Louisiana. Rhett can specifically work with you. He's done great work with me, as it's been very easy to work alongside Rhett and RMB Builders. rmb-builders.com. You got a cough drop?
I
mean, maybe
it might be a detriment,
yeah,
dude.
Right. rmb-builders.com. It's Karma coming back and getting
It is.
She tastes them and puts them back in the wrapper just in case anybody steals her candy.
Right. Exactly.
Hunt Palmer talking more baseball coming up here in a couple of minutes on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, every day we're driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculotta.show.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. jordy@jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, daily brought to you by Daniel Newman and Edward Jones. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com is how you get in touch with our friend over there. He is our financial advisor. You can help. He can help you out today, specifically if you're working in the plants. We tell you all the time, he's got the answers, man, to any of your financial questions. He's got great experience in this field and within the industry. Trusted. Every time Katie and I go out to his office, he's got a couple of people from that industry in there waiting to meet with him or already meeting with him because he's got real clear explanations on how he can help you with the finances, whether it's the 401k, Social Security, any type of investment questions you may have. We rolled the 401k over to him, and it's been very easy to work alongside our friend Daniel Newman. He is a absolute hoop head. He loves basketball, but he's an LSU fanatic, so he's all tied in to this LSU baseball run. Let him answer some financial questions for you. Get in touch with him. Easiest way to do that is to email him, Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. He's out in Central, right across from Stab's restaurant over there in Central. Stop in and see Daniel Newman and tell him you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
We chatted yesterday about going to lunch.
Nice.
We need to do another one.
We need to do that. Hunt Palmer was on Twitter last night, is a great follow. If you're looking for LSU content at Hunt Palmer 88, but specifically during this LSU baseball run. Hunt, you laid out this scenario for us. I feel like Hunt's kind of been
he's had the pulse of the LSU
really
baseball team.
Kind of early on, kind of gave us the heartbeat, and then also set up the postseason saying, look, you get them into a scenario where they got to win or die, and you put the ball in the hands of Landon Marceau, you just see what happens. And last night, the Tigers win 9-8 in the decisive game. It was the fourth time they faced a win-or-go-home situation. All four games, they are successful this weekend to keep their season alive. Good morning, Hunt. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I don't want to stay awake till 1 o'clock in the morning anymore, but that was fun.
That was fun. Tell me your point of view of the weekend. Give me your overall analysis of what LSU accomplished as they win on the road a regional for the first time since Ben McDonald was a player in 1989.
Well, you started a little SEC run saying, well, just get in. Like, you just get in and what can happen? And then you hope that they play great. And, look, Friday, they played terrible. They couldn't swing the bat and didn't do anything against the Gonzaga pitcher that was really good. And then it started to click. Cruz was unbelievable. Dugas was unbelievable. You got a good enough outing from Hilliard. Labus was great. He gives the ball to Coleman, and he does a great job. And they did everything they had to do down the stretch of the last four to win, and that's what can happen in this stupid sport. I mean, it's just it's not like football where you're the biggest, you're the fastest, you're the strongest, you're going to win every time. You just got to go out there and play, and they just did what they had to do. It was great to watch. Would they go out there and do it again? I don't really want to think about it, but they did enough this past weekend. It was fun.
Landon Marceau, did it surprise you that they went to him and that they stuck with him in that game last night?
No, I knew that he was going to be an option. It's probably the slimy underbelly of college baseball. I mean, you look at Oxford and Doug DeCasey throws over 115 pitches and comes back on a day and a half rest and gets a couple outs in Oxford yesterday, and Kevin Kopps is asked to pitch in 3 or 4 games and goes 7 innings. He's never done that all year in Fayetteville last year. And do I love it? No, but it is what it is. And they didn't ask Marceau to go out there and throw 85 pitches last night, but he didn't get 4 outs, and he was able to do it. And I thought with 2 days rest, this was his bullpen day today. To ask him to do that, I thought was in the cards, and it was obvious from talking to our friends that he had asked. He had told Mainieri, "Give me the baseball tomorrow. I'm coming out there." And you know what? I don't think he did any long-term damage to his arm, and I want guys out there that want to be on the team and want to win and want to play for the Tigers. It's not always the case because LSU is a pretty good springboard to a lot of money in a lot of sports. And this is one of them. And Marceau is going to make some cash, but he wants to win. And he knew he'd give LSU the best chance to win. And he's back there trying to piece it together. And you can tell. I mean, both coaches had their plans. Oregon, when they got a lead, going to go to their closing. And they did. And they tried to get 9 outs out of them. It didn't work. LSU, when they got a lead, was going to try to go Edwards, Marceau, Fontenot. And Edwards came in and gave it up. But Marceau was part of that plan and ended up being the end of the plan, and it worked.
How much different is this LSU team here today on June 8th than the team that left Knoxville back at the end of March? Or are they?
Well, there's more of a track record with Cruz and Morgan. Dugas is still white hot, and Hilliard is a difference maker there. You were still in the Jaden Hill time at that point, and obviously he got hurt, can't pitch, but Hilliard makes them a little bit different. Personnel-wise, they're not a ton, and Tennessee's feeling better about themselves than they did at that point. But, look, LSU could win 2 games there. There's no doubt in my mind.
When I say Drew Bianco's name, I just asked this question to Mason Katz the same way I'll ask you. When I say Drew Bianco's name, what do you think of his entire story? I'm asking about, not just his weekend.
He's a product of that house, and he grew up in a baseball house that understood the value of being on a team and what's the most important thing. And he's a guy who has sat there for 3 years and gotten some chances and failed, and has sat on the bench, and even as a 4th-year player has had a chance and failed and come back down. But he understands that it's not about him. It's about the team, and it's about winning. And that's a great thing to stand up and say, and it sounds cute for me to talk about it, but a lot of people don't believe it. They want to play. I mean, how many people are in the transfer portal? Because I don't care if I go from the top of the food chain to the bottom, as long as I get to play, as long as I start. That's the most important thing. He just wants to win, and that's rare. And you've got a couple guys on this team that have kind of been humbled at times in their career, right now or in the past, and are still right in the middle of celebrations and doing everything they can to help. And it's Drew Bianco and Cade Belosa. And they're not guys who are going to spend, 10 years playing for the Cincinnati Reds and make $25 million. but they understand their place. And when they are called upon, they give everything they have. And when they're not, they're in the dugout getting fired up and cheering for the guys and giving high fives and doing choreographed handshakes and the whole deal. And that stuff matters. It's being part of a team and cheering guys on and creating an atmosphere where everybody's excited to show up. You can't really create it. It's got to happen on its own based on the guys you create, the guys you bring into your program. And those two guys, Drew included, have just been a huge part.
Gavin Dugas, where is he right now?
In Fuego.
MVP of the regional.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's got the ability to hit the ball to the ballpark, and he's always been a guy who was here to hit. He's never been. They tried him at second base a little and tossed him out in the outfield. I think he played third base a little couple of years ago. But he's here because he can hit, and man, can he hit, and he's hitting, and that's again. He spent the whole year thinking about, are they going to show up on a given weekend? And it's why I've never criticized coaches. You realize LSU was started 1-8 in the regional and was scrapping and clawing and fighting for every win they could possibly find against Auburn and Texas A&M and going into Hoover, trying to get in the tournament, was in the exact same situation Arkansas was in 3 hours earlier after they had won 14 series in a row in the SEC tournament. You're sitting here in the last game of the regional with 6 outs to go. They're in the same spot, even though you've earned one spot in the other, and you just hope they play well. And Arkansas found a way. Cops went nuts. They hit some homers. And LSU let Gavin Dugas get up there and crank the ball into the Oregon Pines a couple times. It just that's what you got to hope for, and Dugas delivered in spades.
Hunt, what do you think of the final field of 16?
It's about what you'd expect. You lose a couple of one seeds. Florida goes down, and TCU can't get out of theirs, but most of the heavy hitters are still around. As far as it goes for LSU's seeding, you're headed to a place you know. And Tennessee does not have a guy who's going to go in the top 5 picks in the draft pitching. You'll see Dallas in the first game very likely, and he's been really good for them, but he's certainly not, Aaron Nola. It's just you got an opportunity, but it's about what you expect every year. You have a couple of teams that can't find their way out of their own regional, and you've got a couple of 3 seeds, and you got a lot of heavy hitters as 1 seed. And LSU's going to go and play the second national seed. We'll see if they can get out of it.
Is this your favorite time of the year?
I love the spring. I love March Madness, golf firing up, and LSU baseball in full swing. But I'm certainly not going to complain when my team shows up in a super regional. That's not the worst time of the year for sure.
What do you make of the lineup going into the weekend? We've seen Paul kind of tinker game to game, which is very much in his style. What do you think his best team is going into Knoxville?
We'll see what Gio's health is, but without Gio in there, Bianco, the way he played in center yesterday, he's your best option out there. And I think you got to put Arnold in second. It's not the best defensive way to go about things, but it's second base, and it's a pretty easy position to play. And he can hit one over the wall. He certainly can hit it to gas if he needs to. So I think those are the guys who have to play. In terms of DH, it wasn't Beloso's best day at the office last night, but he got one done late. I still kind of trust him, and if you want to throw Brody Gross in there a time or two, I won't complain about that either. But it's fairly set up. I think he made his decision at second base this past week before Giovanni got hurt, and I think that they're in pretty good shape now.
Just a quick update for you. We do have it officially here to tell you that the start times for this LSU-Tennessee series will be Saturday, Sunday, and if needed, on Monday. The first pitch will be 6 o'clock Central Time on ESPN2 Saturday. It will either be at noon or 11 a.m. or 2 o'clock Central Time on Saturday. That's yet to be determined. And then either 3 or 6 on Monday if needed. So that'll be the 3-game set of LSU-Tennessee this weekend, a Saturday, Sunday, and if needed, a Monday playing date. Hunt, are you paying attention at all to any names that could be future coaches here?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'm going to Nashville this weekend to visit a buddy, and we've got tickets to a baseball game on Sunday, like a lunch. That's canceled. We're not going to that. We're
Trade those tickets.
As far as coaches go, as I said, I think Kevin Sullivan will either be getting an extension with the Rays or he'll be LSU's coach. I think Mike Bianca's name has been knocked around a little bit. He's obviously headed out west to Tucson this weekend to play in a Super Regional. And I still haven't given up my kind of hope that it's Cliff Godwin. And the only reason I say that, and I realized that Mike Bianco hadn't been to the top of the mountain either, so there's no reason to think that he wouldn't show up and give everything he had. But just feels like Cliff Godwin, if he showed up, would be the hungriest guy on the block to have a big time success. Sullivan's already had it. Bianca's on the downside of his career. I think those two guys could do a great job and likely would. But there's something about Godwin coming from East Carolina where he's never been to Omaha as a head coach at LSU, where he realizes he could win the whole thing, that makes me think that those wheels would turn a little faster. But we'll see.
From the LSU Sports Radio Network, Hunt Palmer. He's weekly here with us on the Jordy Culotta Show every Tuesday morning. Last one, Hunt, before we get you out of here. Enormous football recruiting weekend as LSU welcomed in tons of visitors Saturday and Sunday into the practice facility. And then we saw a turnover on the coaching staff last week with James Craig out and Brad Davis in as the new O-line coach, as Ed Ogeron goes on to Arkansas staff and plucks away that position coach. What do you make of the moves that LSU has made and recruiting getting back into full swing?
On the LSU front, I thought that showed the coach had a plan when something had to happen, and he made it quickly, decisively, and moved on. And I think it was good. As far as the recruiting goes, I only care about LSU, but the big picture is that it's just a good thing for the kids that have worked their entire lives. Parents who have done everything they can to put their kids in the position for success, and the NCAA to tell them you can't go anywhere, you can't fly anywhere for as long as they did was an absolute injustice and ridiculous. But I'm glad that those gates have been opened and the kids can go out there and decide whether they want to further their academic career and their athletic career. That's the most important thing. I can't imagine going through all that work, all that time, all those hours, all those dollars, and then the NCAA saying, yeah, you can pick where you want to go, but you can't go visit any of them. You definitely can't go meet the coaches. Absolutely not. That's unacceptable. It's ridiculous. Same thing, it's ridiculous that the NCAA is making some teams next week play in super regional sites where the host team's not there. It's stupid, but it's what they decided to do because nobody wants to stand up and have a little common sense in the room. But I'm glad the kids getting out to have that experience to go out there and pick where they want to go to school.
Sheesh. That sounds like the NCAA. Have you heard any feedback at some of these pickup games at the LSU basketball facility?
I'd imagine it's pretty good.
Well, so you haven't heard anything. They have Efton is better than they expected. Is the,
he's pretty good. That's shocking. I'm glad my coach, he's out there getting players. We're going to be good again.
Yes, indeed. They hit on all three transfers, Hunt. Hey, enjoy the week. We will talk to you again soon with LSU playing more baseball next weekend. That'll be in Knoxville for a 3-game set. Best of 3 advances to Omaha. Thank you for, as always, for your time.
All right, Jordy. See you.
All right, man. There's Hunt Palmer checking in this morning as he brings in the baseball knowledge. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by Nevadis. Let Nevadis help you today with your web app development, your mobile app development, and with helping you out with your business solutions, whether that is helping you out with digitizing paperwork, with payroll. They can help you out with all those types of needs and services online at Nevadis.com. That's Novateus.com. Locally here, a Baton Rouge company, Randall Nachman and his crew can help you out. So many success stories as they're helping us out with a little bit of web design, a mobile app that we were in discussions and talking about with Randall. Find out for yourself how he can help your business online at Nevadis.com. We will continue to talk about recruiting on the football front as Frank Wilson, head coach of the Pokes, head coach of the Cowboys. McNeese State will stop by here. He's partnering up with Ed Ogeron and LSU for a in-state camp. We'll talk to him about the benefits and some of the early feedback of getting back out in front of prospects, having guys on campus, and what's that meaning for him down in Lake Charles, as Lake Charles was dealing with another disaster a couple of weeks ago as the floodwaters came through here in South Louisiana through East Baton Rouge Parish and was flowing right through the middle of the city as the city leadership has to be answering questions. As you saw, just the crime, the traffic, the flooding, the education. I mean, where does it stop in East Baton Rouge Parish as far as the problem goes? But we saw that yesterday with what was going on with the city. I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about a football camp and Frank Wilson and how he's coming on the show.
Oh,
Lake
Lake Charles.
You threw an East Baton Rouge Parish.
Well,
you took a shot there.
Well, I just wanted to take a U-turn and shit on City Hall every chance that I get.
Thanks for coming in, Stefanski.
Just a dump on the city of Baton Rouge and Town Hall. I was just trying to get there, and I worked that in very.
Culotta's a made man. He feels very comfortable
very
now.
Selfishly worked that in.
How many cough drops did you eat?
Yeah,
4.
Promethazine. Jesus.
2 at one time, which was
there you go.
The height, the peak of the day. But Lake Charles and McNeese dealing with more disaster down there. I mean, flood came through here in East Baton Rouge Parish, but also struck in Southwest Louisiana over in Lake Charles, and Frank Wilson and the Cowboys having to deal with more issues and just trying to put together a program and trying to play, on everybody's scale, just kind of play on an even ground, man. I mean, they've dealt with so much stuff. 2 Category 5 hurricanes, the floods, just
quick transition to a new fall season. Like if you're talking football wise, like that's an unbelievable turnaround Frank Wilson has to do.
And he also had to deal with some APR stuff.
Yes,
that he was answering from the NCAA that they were taking away days of workouts from him. So it'll be interesting conversation with Frank coming up here in a couple of minutes. We'll also talk to Ross Dellenger as Dellenger will be here at 8:15 talking about Nick Saban's new contract as he broke the news yesterday over at Sports Illustrated as Saban got an extension over in Tuscaloosa. We'll talk to him about some of the offseason storylines that are happening around college football, including that story over at Alabama. Yesterday also we saw the contract details come out for Brad Davis, the new offensive line coach at LSU. It is worth 3 years, $830,000 per year, so a nice salary jump for the Baton Rouge native. As he comes on, he'll be paid $810 in his first year, $830 in his second year, and $850 in his final year of the contract, which expires in March of 2024. So good for Brad Davis and the Baton Rouge native getting that done. I'm seeing reports and following on Twitter where Davis is in Baton Rouge and met with the offensive line for the first time yesterday. So he is he's on campus. We heard Walker Howard yesterday here with us talk about, look, they were still, I think what he was trying to say was they were still ironing out the details of the contract, getting that signed, going through all of the stuff that you have to, go through to be employed by a state university, and all of that stuff clearing and coming back as checked out and all good to go. And I think that they were just waiting on some of that communication to happen between Davis and between LSU. All that stuff looks like it's gone over very seamless, and now the contract has been signed and he's on campus and on to work as Davis, now the offensive line coach at LSU, and signs a 3-year deal averaging about $830,000 of an annual salary over the next 3 seasons at LSU. And look, we told you, I think that this was a great, not a great situation just because of the timing in the way that this lined up on a college football schedule. This is not the ideal time that you're looking to make a coaching move, but I think it was obvious in that 1 day of limbo when we, the media, and the public was kind of asking, what the hell's going on? I think the more that you get away from this, the more that this was a very calculated move, that this was a move that they had their guy. They knew who they were going to get. They were not impressed with James Craig. Look, I think that Austin Thomas, his his ability to have an impact on the roster as the general manager is much more than making sure that the roster, stays with quality depth at certain positions. It's going over overall roster management, coaching, and I think this was one of his projects when he first got on campus, was making sure that they were maximizing every coach at every position group and getting the most out of them. And when you looked at James Craig, I think he checked a lot of the technical boxes, right? Good on the field coach, good tactician, good from a technical standpoint, and being able to teach, the ins and outs of offensive line, hand placement, footwork, pass protection, run blocking, all that stuff that, coaches are looking for in the development on the field. As far as recruiting, Craig was a swing and a miss after swing and a miss. I mean, he had multiple opportunities to bring in high-end guys, and he just couldn't close. He couldn't get the deal done. And that's a part of the job. And I think, a lot of those guys that come in from the NFL, and Craig had some college football experience, but for the majority, his resume looks like an NFL coach. That's a tough transition to get back into. Once you've gone to the NFL from college football and then get back into college football, there's very much a like
a learning curve almost,
and not a grace period. It's not a graceful period for a coach to adapt back into that, because it's the lifeline of the sport. It's the bloodline of the program. You've got to be able to recruit. And like we've talked about a couple of times when leading into this offseason, if you look at LSU all over the field, they're stacked everywhere. And they might have some quality depth at offensive line. We just don't know it because you haven't seen them. They haven't had to play in big spots, and if they have, they've always failed. And even for the frontline guys, and how much real confidence do you have in the frontline guys today as we sit here? I mean, I got huge question marks around Liam Shanahan. I mean, thank God they were able to pull him in last season and then retain him for the COVID year. Because it's, not ideal to have a Harvard transfer starting on your offensive line, but when that's your only selection, that's all you got.
Had to come back.
And, not a lot of experience. There were times last year when obviously he was tossed around. And how much stability do you feel in that position? Dare Rosenthal, he looks the part, but he hasn't played a lot of football. Not enough to say, yeah, he's the guy. He's your left tackle. But if Max Johnson's your quarterback, that's more pressure on Austin Deculus. And I don't know how confident we all are in Austin Deculus in being the blindside protection of your quarterback. Ed Ingram, to me, is your most solid offensive lineman. I think he's a second to third round draft pick right now. And then at that right guard spot, it might be the most competition on the team. Chasen Hines, Anthony Bradford, some of these guys that are unproven and haven't played a lot of football yet. Xavier Hill, we keep hearing his name around. Who's it going to be? So Brad Davis steps into a group that needs a energy boost in recruiting and needs some help with some back-end development, some depth development of some offensive linemen that they've got to develop quickly here and have an answer for, because it's not if, it's when. We said this, a couple of times. You are going to experience adversity in the Southeastern Conference along your lines of scrimmage at some point. It's not if, it's when it's going to happen and how LSU is going to respond to that. And, I think that Brad Davis, as far as the timing and making that move, he's as good as you could have done on June 7th, June 8th, in bringing in a new position coach to a college football program that has championship aspirations. and championship expectations. So,
I mean, this is kind of what happens, though, isn't it? Whenever you feel like you're solid at every position, you kind of start nitpicking to find somewhere where you're not good. And it seems like we've just kind of settled on the offensive line. For all intents and purposes, they weren't awful last year, but the real question is the depth. And then I think injecting some life into that group is a good thing. Like bringing in bringing in like some new blood is good to like kind of shake the room up a little bit and see it. Like it almost opens up the competition again.
Yeah, it does. This is Frank Wilson.
Right on time.
What do you say there, Coach?
What you say, Jordy Culotta?
How are you, sir? My man with the energy.
That's right.
Always, baby, always. Life's too short not to have it.
Recruiting season. This is what you live for, huh?
It is, you know, and, boy, we have a big one coming up soon, so anxious to talk about it today to let all the great listeners hear what we got to offer.
I can't wait to hear about it. Tell me what it means, just all in all, as a college football coach, to now have this opportunity back. We talked to Walker Howard yesterday, who I know you can't talk of, but he's just a prospective recruit, and was talking about them getting on campuses and what it meant from the players' aspect, from the coaches' aspect. What does this mean?
You know, it's a big deal for us. You think about this. How about this, Jordy? We welcomed our 2021 signing class, right? And the reality was 98% of the class I had never met in person. Because for a calendar year, it was a dead period. There was no unofficial. They didn't come on an official, nor was I able to go and do a home visit with them. And so it was totally foreign in all my years and all the years of college football. And all the years of college football, you've never had a year where you weren't able to evaluate or have in-person contact with a student athlete. And so I actually welcomed guys on our campus. Now, don't get me wrong, we did Zoom meetings, we did this, and so we did stuff via social media or the best way we could, but physically shaking hands, looking a man in the eye, and a parent, a dad, a mom, you know, it was surreal. And it just seemed like, wow, okay, he looks better than even I thought. You know, you watch them on film and you watch them in person. So anyway, not to go on with that, but now to come full circle and the class of 22 to have an opportunity to have these guys on campus for unofficial, for officials, and for camp. You know, we get a chance to get them here on camp, and we have a big one coming up here on June 19th. We have two. June 19th, our Elite Showcase Camp, and July 24th, our Last Chance Camp, where we get to provide a service for the players and student athletes in the state of Louisiana and neighboring states, up and down the I-10 corridor, to allow us to build relationships, to get back with our high school coaches, man. Yeah. Like, you yearn that. You know, if you're a college coach, that's your lifeline. Absolutely. And we get to do that. And so we're excited about it. So here's what we got, Jordy.
Yep.
So June 19th coming up, next Saturday, we get a chance to have our first camp, and then my tenure here on campus. And we do it with the 2019 national champs LSU Tigers coaching staff, as well as some of our other collegiate coaches that'll be within the state. And we're just thrilled for that opportunity. We're very grateful for Coach Ogeron and his staff for coming down to work with us in this camp, to be able to and it is an instructional football camp. And for some, it's an opportunity for them to be evaluated. But even more so, here's what I like, all right? They get to evaluate us. And when it comes to coaching, to developing, we're proud of what we do. We're proud of how we do it. And so not only do student-athletes get a chance, or we get a chance to evaluate and to coach them, but they get an opportunity to evaluate us and check us out as well. And so we welcome that. We're excited about that, to be able to get in front of student athlete and parent and watch them do what we do best.
Check out frankwilson.com or frankwilsonfootballcamp.com to get more information on both camps coming up, Saturday, June 19th and Saturday, July 24th. where McNeese will be teaming up with Ed Ogeron and his crew for a combined camp. And this is what's cool about this one, Coach. Not only is this offered for high school students, for those that are 9th through 12th graders, but also transfers and postgraduates. How much is that going to be a part of what you guys are now evaluating, not only through the transfer portal, but now out in the open at camps like this?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for student athletes. So many student athletes have jumped into this portal with not enough scholarships out there to be able to have in place for them, and so they get a chance to be in front. Our coaching staff, other coaching staffs, to garner that scholarship offer possibly. And so it's a big deal for them because in a day and age where, because of COVID-19, you get an extra year. All right. So now that's condensed the number of scholarship that you have, but also in a year where they weren't able to come out. We weren't able to go out to evaluate you. And so it's been compromised to an extent, but you still got a shot. You got a shot at these camps that are coming up, and for those transfers as well as those post-grads in high school who may have got snubbed because of limitations of the amount of the quantity of scholarships that were out there, and there's still a few. So, there'll be schools that are still taking a handful for 2021. Just because of how volatile it is. You may not have had one, but now you have two. You may have three, and then some lucky guy will be in position to earn that scholarship who's a high school 21 graduate.
Coach, you guys are geniuses at smoking out the prospects that tell you that they're 6'5", 240 in their huddle account. Then you go see them on campus or go see them in an official, and you say, bro, I mean, you're 6'3", 215. What do you want me to do with this? How much did you and your staff, were you guys holding your breath when your signing class showed up and hoping that they passed the eyeball test like they did through the Zoom calls that you were experiencing over the last year?
We're very creative with trying to gather information. we're very creative in trying to gather information and in respect to other schools. We like a lot of other schools. We're very prideful when we issue a scholarship offer. It means something. It has substance. It has integrity. We don't necessarily offer guys to get in the boat or offer to get to camp and then tell them it's not committal. If we offer you, it's the real deal. And so, there's some schools you look at, and whether you're looking at Johnny, Joe, Bill, or Harold, you'll see the same school, and it becomes almost cliche-ish where you go, golly, they offer everybody. And then they just cast a wide net and throw it out. And that may work for them, so I'm not knocking them.
Sure.
But for us, we don't do it that way, that we're very thorough in it. And so we pretty much, we know their true measurables. We've been engaged with them. There is a courting process, old school, and we talk to the high school coach, not just a 7-on-7 coach. We talk to the mom, we talk to the dad, we talk to the barber, any and everybody that impacts the student's life. We track it down and we try to know them best because it helps. And your error from or your margin of error is lessened when you're more thorough. And so we try our very best to be as thorough as possible, and we don't have any elements of surprises. And so we didn't have that. Now, we had a couple. We took an offensive lineman from Iowa by way of, he was at the University of Iowa, and then this semester was at Iowa Central, and he was listed at 6'4". He came in at 6'6".
That'll work.
So we erred on the opposite side. Yeah.
Humble and hungry.
We took a receiver from Bogalusa who was a one-time Memphis commit, and we thought he was 6'2". He was 6'3.5".
Hell yeah!
And so we're very fortunate. We have a great class, Jordy. We got a chance. We have a chance to have a good ball club with the players that we've just brought in.
I worked out alongside Micah Davey leading up until Saturday, and I'm telling you.
Boy, he looked great. He's another one. Hey, Jordy, he walked in. I'm like, whoa.
Yes.
Because he was another one we had not seen. And I've had him stand next to his dad, had him do the measure, but he was even more impressive in person. Yeah, great-looking young man.
Runs, athletic. He is an instant impact guy for Frank Wilson, who is changing the game. Coach, I hated to see it, man. More adversity for your town, for your community, and I guess for your program. You're a fantastic leader. What was the last couple of weeks like?
Yeah, I had a meeting with our quarterback club, or our Cowboy club, which is one of our donor-based alumni groups, and we kind of spoke on that, man. And you measure success more than just wins and losses on the field, and I don't say that slightly or dodge anything, but man, it's been a lot. It's been a lot, and one blow after another, and we'll prevail, and we will. And so we just had another flood, and so as we welcome our signees, the 4 days before last week or week and a half ago, we had the flood issue here, and their housing on campus wiped out the whole first floor.
Sheesh.
And so we had to sudden change and move kids in one spot to another spot and change roommates. But we did it. We made the in-game adjustment. We got guys where they needed to be, and no one ever knew. We knew, and it was challenging. But it's been tough. But then met with our president yesterday. Met with the Corps of Engineers and the things that we're doing to not allow it to happen again, preventative measures, and feel very good and comfortable about where we're at right now, and being able to provide stability and safety for our student athletes, for our entire community, to be more frank with you. And so I like what we're doing. I like the building plans, and we'll be better than ever when it comes back. A couple of 2 months ago, we took a flight to UAB to look at their covered indoor practice field, and something that we have intentions on building here in short term. Excited about it. Our new press box, we're going back and forth whether they were going to renovate it or tear it down, and it looks like we will have the latter to be elite and have one of the best, if not the best, stadium in all of FCS.
God knows what he's doing in having you down there at this time. You are the right man for the program, the right man for the people, the right man for that community. If you are looking for an opportunity to play ball at the next level and McNeese makes sense for you, go let Coach Frank Wilson show you why he is the best leader for the Pokes, as you can get involved with his camps coming up on June 19th. And another camp coming up on the 25th. You can learn 24th. About them at the 24th, and you can learn about them at frankwilsonfootballcamp.com. frankwilsonfootballcamp.com. These camps will be featuring the LSU coaching staff. It'll be tremendous to see these guys back on the field, evaluating, teaching, and in their element. Coach, we always appreciate your time and your insight. Look forward to catching up again soon, and we have on the schedule that trip to Lake Charles. We have not forgot about it. We are coming down there.
No doubt. Hey, Jordy, one last thing. Our last conversation, we were talking about. I was sharing with you about the success that we had academically in the previous semester, and I was hopeful that we would do as well in the fall. In this past spring, 3.2 team GPA. Knocked it out the park one more time.
How about it, man? Coach, how much is that on? Do you lead with that recruiting? Is it that before football?
Oh yeah, that's what we do, man. It's they're student athletes first, and that's I would have been remiss if I had hung up and not talked about it. I'm so proud of our student athletes. We had 11 kids over a 4.0, wow. Team GPA of 3.2, and just kicking butt on and off the field, man, and building it the right way so it could withstand the test of time. We're going to do it right.
Go Pokes. Cowboys head coach Frank Wilson checking in again here on a Tuesday morning. Good to hear from you, Coach. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much. Go Pokes!
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There he is, man.
Over a
His
4
energy
How can you
is
not?
amazing.
How can you not?
I can't wait to meet him in person.
And just wait to see the success that he's having cooped up in his office with Zoom calls. All right? And I'm telling you that Micah Davey Do you know Micah Davey? He played at University High, starting linebacker. I believe he played basketball up until his senior year. You may have played against him. He is an SEC athlete. He's one of these guys that through this last year of recruiting got lost in the shuffle. He was a guy that should have been on camps. He should have been at camps, on campuses. And if he does, I'm telling you, he's at LSU, Alabama, Texas A&M, or Georgia. I'm telling Florida, somewhere like that. He's in Lake Charles and going to be a day one starter for McNeese at the middle. I don't even know if they have a middle linebacker. He may be the senior and the leader on the team.
It don't matter.
Micah Davey is coming for that job, man. And he's the type of players that Wilson is attracting. And football-wise, they're going to be back overnight. They're pretty much kind of back. Yeah. I mean, they closed the year with some confidence. And what they're going to do in recruiting, they're going to be back. But, I mean, as far as, like, for the community, what they're going through, a leader that you can look to that just kind of instills this quiet confidence to you as not only a supporter of the program or a player, but just somebody that's waking up and pushing 9 to 5 and trying to figure it out. I believe that Frank Wilson is in Lake Charles and the leader of that program for a reason right now.
Well, yeah, how many head coaches would do that? Would go meet with town hall and do all the things that he's doing? He's like, look, we gotta get this figured out. Like, it's not just for me, like the town. He's like taking over as almost like central casting as mayor for the place.
I know. It's pretty amazing.
But remember the name Micah Davey. I'm telling you, this cat
portal
is going to be, and he might be one of the great examples of what the detriment to a school like McNeese and having a player like that is. Because through 6 games, I'd imagine that Rohan's phone will be blowing up from Saban, Smart, Fisher, Mullen, all of them. And how do you get that? And then I don't know how you police that because, I mean, I've talked to Micah. I've just kind of seen him in a person. I know he feels snubbed.
Cool.
I mean, he definitely knows the type of talent he is, and he's looking around seeing guys that got, 1 of 25 scholarships at Power 5 saying, what?
Beat that ass.
I mean, and would. I mean, check the highlight film. This cat is a stud. And Frank Wilson, been on him since day one. And to Frank's credit and to McNeese's credit, in talking to Micah along those times where he felt snubbed, he was never going anywhere. He wasn't budging. He's committed to Frank and the Pokes, man. And they got a great player, and I can imagine if he's one of those 25, what the rest of that group looks like. He's bringing in the players.
He's always been able to do that.
Always been able to do it. Ross Dellenger, who covers the sport for Sports Illustrated, was the one who broke the news on Nick Saban signing that extension with Alabama. That'll keep him there through 2029 in Tuscaloosa.
Eternity.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. All you need to know is that it's going to keep him there through Arch Manning's college career, and that's what he did it for. We will ask Ross that next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We are brought to you by Johnson and Spillers Dentistry. Remember, Johnson and Spillers, they help us out with the dentist needs over here at the Jordy Culotta Show. Let them help you out. Today, you need pediatric dental help, or if you need anything that you should need, teeth cleaned, cavities filled, whatever you may need. They even offer Botox over at Johnson and Spillers. Baton Rouge location in between Segan and Bluebonnet on Perkins, and then out in Gonzales on Prepara Avenue, and online, johnsonspillers.com, all over social media. Facebook, Instagram, you can find them there.
Did we miss your follow-up appointment? Was it last week?
That's going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Just bouncing it back here.
Oh, my goodness. And the responsibility.
Just bouncing it
Maybe
back.
a cough drop will fix it.
Just bouncing
Wait,
it back.
Come on.
do you take kids to the dentist? Don't their teeth
Yes.
just fall out?
What?
Like, you got the temporary set. Why would you even worry about them?
You do take him to the dentist.
What do
Good
they
luck.
do to them?
Good luck, Rebecca. Good luck, Rebecca.
I just figured you pull that sucker out.
Ross
Get the new one.
Dellenger next. He doesn't have to go to the dentist, does he?
Right? It's a big
His teeth are
tooth.
falling out of his head.
No, you get a new one. It's a gift from God.
He's scrubbing his teeth with Coca-Cola.
That's how you floss.
Yeah, right. Ross Dellenger next. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. All right, welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live at the UDL here on this Tuesday, presented by Go Chevrolet. Stop in and check out the crew over there at Go. G-E-A-U-X, Michael Divinity, slinging rides down in Laplace.
The place.
New used car lot over here in Florida Boulevard and Sherwood Forest. Did you really?
Oh, well, how did I know it was Laplace?
I mean, are you from the South? Or are you from the
Yes, but
Midwest?
I'm not from South Louisiana, so I
You're
drove
from
through and I
Indiana?
was like, Laplace. Booty.
Oh, nice little place you got over there. Must be a nice little town.
Hey, pick me up a pop while you're out, huh?
So not right.
Speaking of the Midwest, Ross Dellenger is up in Washington, D.C., but my
Okay,
man
then.
is steady breaking news, just like he does over there at Sports Illustrated. A must-follow for a college football fan. He was on the LSU beat for a while. I think he spent 5 years. He's now on Twitter, at Ross Dellenger. You can read his stuff at SI Now. Broke the story yesterday that Nick Saban has inked a contract extension in Tuscaloosa that keeps him there through 2028. He'll be 77 years old once this contract expires. You can read it that way, Deli. You know the way I read it? is that it's the end of Arch Manning's college football playing career, and that's going to be his recruiting pitch to the Mannings this week when they show up to Tuscaloosa. What do you make of it?
Well, everything Nick Saban does, just like any college football coach probably, who knows what their priorities are, is recruiting. And so, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that were the case.
But when you look at the parameters of the contract, this expected, right? I mean, when you say Nick Saban's name out loud, nobody sees the end in sight, right?
No, I mean you call around and you talk to people around college athletics, and nobody really has that date in mind, and they're scared to put a date on it because they see the way Nick Saban works and looks and acts, and it doesn't seem like he's slowing down any. And if you know him and know people around him who obviously know him, I think he's a guy that is probably a lifer. He's not a retirement guy and go lay around by the beach. I took a trip to Destin a few weeks ago for a story I hope will drop this week, but it's about retired coaches, college coaches moving down there. And, Tommy Bowden's down there, and Jerry DiNardo, and guys who retired quite early. And Nick Saban's he's not that guy that's going to retire early. Now, I don't know if he's going to go to Bobby Bowden's age, but he might.
Deli, are you on a motorcycle entering your house?
I am outside of my patio, and we live right in the middle of DC in DuPont Circle, and it's a busy day here. I'm at kind of a major intersection, so I apologize.
No apologies. I love it. It's good ambiance. Ross Dellenger joined. Sorry. Lloyd tricked me and said he had a question. Sorry
I do,
for
but
the
I'm scared to
awkward
Can I
silence,
ask
bro.
it? I'm scared to ask it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do they drug test college football coaches? Because Nick Saban has to be on PEDs. He looks younger than he's ever looked.
I got him on human growth hormone.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the break. I didn't know if that was uncouth to ask, but I think he's on drugs.
Well, they do not drug test college football coaches, not that I know of, but I think there are more things that Nick Saban has had, let's say, done to him than none of us have had or could afford, probably.
Right. Well said, Deli.
I mean, I know the hair's fake.
That's fake. That's been fake since Baton Rouge. I mean, he was getting his hair dyed in 2000.
Oh, it just died.
Yeah. And smoking cigarettes.
All you have to do is type in Nick Saban, Michigan State, and you will see maybe
the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Nick.
It's a Jeff Bezos transformation.
It's money. It's absolute money.
Yes.
So, do you expect them to repeat? Where do you have them going into the season? Last year's national champ with a ton of turnover, including at the quarterback spot. How good do you expect them to be next season?
Yeah, every year they lose people, and there's a thought that they might regress in some way because of that, specifically when it comes to losing quarterbacks and such. But it just never slows them down. It doesn't seem like. So I don't anticipate them losing a quarterback who was a Heisman Trophy finalist to slow them down. I just don't. Nothing ever has. The way he recruits there, the way he builds a team and develops a team. I just expect them to keep on rolling, man. It would surprise me if they didn't win the league again, and be certainly in the championship game, and if not win it.
I don't know if you know this, but did you get scooped by Schefter on your Nick Saban contract news?
Oh, well, it wasn't really a scoop as much as I saw a release from the school first, probably, in my inbox. That's how that worked.
Well, Schefter just tried to take your story, dude. You tweeted at like 11:38, and then he comes back at 11:41 with breaking Nick Saban new contract.
Get the hell out of here.
It's like a rite of passage
Damn
for you,
him. I know. Damn him. My guy, Ian Rappaport, who I'm friends with, he always gives me the credit on college stuff that he's interested in, but I don't ever get it from anybody else really in the pro beat. That's kind of how they are. So expected.
Deli, what has been the return from college coaches of opening up their their programs and their facilities and allowing recruits in the building this weekend. LSU might have had 1,200 kids run through the football facility over the last, over Saturday and Sunday in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I'm actually planning probably early next week to start making some calls with coaches to see how things have gone and if it's as chaotic, as they said or thought it might be. But from early returns, it is. There's a lot of kids on campuses all of a sudden, and it's a very important time because the window closes very quickly. You have July is a dead period, and then you get into the camp and in the season. So this is a small, tight window that you can have where you can focus pretty much solely, or predominantly at least, on recruiting and on recruits after not seeing them for 14, 15 months. So yeah, it's as you'd expect. There are huge numbers of official visits in just unofficial visits as well.
Did you pay any attention to Arik Gilbert landing in Athens, and did you learn anything about how he got there?
Not really. I haven't paid attention too much to the saga. I know that obviously he was a highly rated recruit, so it's of national interest somewhat, but I really haven't paid attention. I know that there was a time where they thought he would return to LSU, right? But that didn't seem to work out.
Seems like the sentiment down here is that he almost played LSU for the academic freeway to kind of like lay out the academics and get him straight there. And then once it was all approved, Smart and Georgia kind of swept in and brought him back home.
Hometown girl.
Exactly. Deli, you've been on the LSU baseball beat. Did you stay up and watch every pitch last night? And what did you think of watching Paul Mainieri here announce his retirement and seeing the Tigers head off to a super regional?
Yeah, it was an exciting game. I had watched zero basically college baseball entering yesterday, and I told myself I'm going to stay up and I'm going to watch this LSU game. I would of course pick a game that starts at 10 o'clock my time to finally watch college baseball this year. But I did want to see my old friend, I guess you could call him now, Paul Mainieri, maybe in his last game. And of course it wasn't his last game, and so exciting. That was exciting to see. But yeah, I was on I was at the Advocate for 5 years covering football and baseball. The first two, I was daily baseball writer. And so Paul and I had become pretty close, and it's been fun to watch him and work with him over the years. I've said this to him and to others before. There's no better coach as a reporter that I've ever worked with. As far as the respect that he gives the media, in the availability he gives to the media, and he's always a great quote. Obviously, sometimes he probably says things that he shouldn't say, but but it's always I really had fun covering Paul's teams, and they were always so much fun, indicative of exactly the stuff we saw last night. It just seems like they are never ever out of it.
SEC Media Days on the schedule?
Yeah, I will be going to Hoover the third or whatever, the second or third week of July. So that should be fun, and you'll get another dose of normalcy, having an event like that. So I'm excited about that.
Last one, LSU saw some coaching turnover on the staff last week, which is not ideal when you look at the calendar of college football. They removed James Craig and terminating him on Tuesday, and by Wednesday afternoon they have hired Brad Davis from Arkansas staff and Sam Pittman's group. What did you make the moves of Ogeron and his staff last week?
Yeah, I saw yesterday, I think, the Davis's contract, which
yes.
In all of this, that's probably the most stunning. At $800,000 or $850,000 a year for an offensive line coach, it is crazy. I mean, there's the amount of money that schools have. and I guess not necessarily just schools, but the amount of money that schools boosters have and are willing to spend is incredible, just incredible. I was stunned to see that, but clearly LSU had a plan. I know they had, it was down to two guys I had heard at least early on, and so they seemed to Edwards Run seemed to have a good plan and made a quick hire, which you have to this time of year. It's we just talked about the recruiting. You got to get somebody in there as quickly as possible.
With the name, image, and likeness coming into play in the foreseeable future, do you see that impacting coaches' contracts like you were just talking about? Is that where some of that money goes? How is that going to work for coaches? Because it seems unlimited at this point, so they have to. How will that work with colleges and players?
Well, I don't know that you'll see NIL impact coaches' contracts. I think the only way you might see it maybe is, and this is a fear from some athletic directors that I kind of believe isn't really founded, but they believe it's true, in that when you have these college stars being able to get endorsement deals, they're gonna take the money that companies were putting into athletic departments and giving athletic departments, and then now they're going to be given to the student athletes more so. So if a local business dumped $10,000 a year into LSU athletics, well, maybe they'll dump $5,000 next year, and they'll leave $5,000 to spend on the actual athletes. So I guess you could have a trickle down effect into contracts. Maybe that way, but I think the real big issue with coaches' contracts, you're going to probably have a congressional bill at some point that will impact how much coaches are paid, that will restrict potentially how much coaches are paid. I know there's a group of Democrats that want that, and I wonder eventually if you won't see some kind of salary cap on coaches. Now, they tried to do that years ago, and it was struck down. But that is certainly a talking point among athletic directors who would probably love to see it, because they get forced in by agents. They get forced into some of these deals. And I know there's some Democrats in Congress that would like to see some kind of cap.
Do you see the guidelines of name, image, and likeness being in place for the fall?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're going to have. Well, first of all, there are 5 states that have NIL laws that take effect July 1. In the NCAA, after the Alston Supreme Court ruling comes out, which should be sometime this month, you'll see the NCAA hurriedly pass its own NIL legislation or some kind of waiver to grant permission for athletes all over the country, not just in those 5 states, but all over the country to earn compensation from endorsement, commercial deals.
Do you know where you're getting sent week 1 yet?
Oh gosh, no, I haven't even looked at I haven't even made my travel for the media days yet, man. I got to get on it.
All right. Enjoy it, man. We will see you. We will see you soon. Thank you as always for the time.
Sorry, guys. See y'all.
All right, man. There was Ross Dellenger checking in this morning.
I don't think he stayed
SI.
up and watched the whole game.
You don't think?
He dodged that question. Did y'all know
He was
that?
tweeting last night. I saw him. He's a big bourbon guy, so I'm sure he had a couple cocktails, maybe dozed off. But
Mississippi State
he was
grad.
tweeting.
Huh?
Mississippi State grad.
Is he really?
Uh-huh.
I never knew that.
Yep.
Wow.
Do people still do that? Wake up early and drink coffee on their porch? Like you make a point to go outside and have coffee?
I mean, I don't do that at 5:30 a.m. when I wake up on the weekday mornings, but
Well,
I do it like
previous
on the
to the on the
I do it
weekends.
on the weekends, yeah. It's
You
nice
drink
to walk
coffee,
out.
Noah?
No. My little brother goes outside and eats on the porch. He'll eat his lunch. He'll eat his lunch outside.
I mean, when the weather's nice here, why not?
Nostalgic-
We don't do
nostalgic
that.
little
Yeah, just wake your day up. I guess birds are chirping.
It is. It's nice.
If you're
Connect
Ross,
with
you got
nature.
a motorcycle gang outside your front door.
Exactly. Really, you just want to get out of your house.
I guess.
Just for a minute.
Some NBA news before we get out of here. Brooklyn looks unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
They
The
are
Nets
unbeatable.
are, Durant had 32 and 3/4 last night as the Nets beat the Bucks 125-86, and it wasn't that close. I mean,
Durant
Giannis is he's being abused right now by Durant. I mean, he had 18 points last night, but he looked dejected. He was sitting on the end of the bench. You could see it in his face. I mean, That's a 2-time MVP of the league that looks lost.
He got dunked on by Blake Griffin.
He did. Blake Griffin has his bounce back. Stellar got a groove back.
I mean, this guy.
Everybody's faking to get on these super teams, dude. He was just pretending like he was hurt. Then he goes up 12 feet in the air and slams on Giannis. And that's I was saying that has to be what Giannis is thinking. Like, he's trying to build his own thing, and everybody that tries to do their own little dynasties in these small market teams, then you run into the buzzsaw that is Brooklyn's like, well, why don't I just do that? Like, that's way easier than me sitting on the end of the bench, putting up 18 and getting crossed over by Durant or Kyrie Irving.
And that's LeBron on your text messages are calling you saying, I told you, bro.
We got your brother.
Come on, man.
It's not going to happen in a small market.
No.
It's just, it will never pan out.
I wonder if Zion's looking at that saying, I got to get out of here in the first
Without a doubt. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this Pelicans team is in a different state. Like, they're not sticking around. He's going to go
Seattle
somewhere.
Pelicans?
Yeah. Yes. Seattle Pelicans. I guess they could be that.
They totally could.
The Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, can we get that name back?
That's what we need, a rebrand.
Right.
You did. I mean, really and truly, I was hoping that would have happened when they were trying to change the name, that Utah was actually going to get the new name and give the Jazz back to New Orleans, just because it makes so much sense.
It's a perfect name.
But now Utah has embraced the retro logo of the old New
that's
Orleans
also
with
cool,
the basketball.
dude.
It's so cool,
It
man.
is cool.
The Pistol Pete era.
Wait, what were Pelicans before Pelicans?
The
Hornets.
Hornets. That's right. I didn't like that.
But that was like they were moved from Charlotte and kept the team's name. Like Utah, you know, they should have rebranded at some point.
I know.
When they got the team, you know, something around
What do you name a
Mormons?
Utah team?
Yeah,
The Mormons.
Mormons, yeah.
As angry as those cats are, you think up of something. You know what I mean? Like the Rough Riders or something. I mean, these cats.
Good Lord.
I mean, I didn't know that it was like that. I mean, Russell Westbrook's like, I'm gonna kill somebody next time I get
Tired
back.
of these people.
Right.
Utah, man.
Phoenix, speaking of Utah, looks like Phoenix is on a crash course to meet up with Utah as Utah plays tonight, game 1 of their Western Conference semifinal series. They'll go up against Kawhi and the Clippers, who closed out Luka and the Mavericks in game 7 on Sunday. Game 1 of that series tonight in Utah. Game 2 tonight of Atlanta and Philly. Atlanta up a game there in that series, as that will be game 2 from Philadelphia tonight. And then last night, as we told you, Brooklyn just rolled through Milwaukee. They're up 2-0 in that series. Game 3 coming up Thursday night from Milwaukee. And then Phoenix took a 1-0 lead in their Western Conference semifinal matchup versus the Denver Nuggets. They won 122-105. Chris Paul looked great.
Yeah,
I mean he looked like that it didn't affect him.
Yeah, he looked healthy. The Nuggets had it in their hand the whole game until like the fourth quarter, and the Suns picked up their defense. They're a really good defensive team, which is surprising with all the offensive pieces they have.
That's Monty Williams.
It is Monty Williams.
They're playing great defense, and they took control and started hitting shots.
This is a
Monty Williams was edged yesterday in Coach of the Year voting.
Tibbs won.
That's a
Thibodeau won.
disgrace.
Monty Williams had more first place votes, but the total votes Thibodeau won.
Oh,
Get
aggregate.
the bleep
One on
outta
aggregate?
here, bro. Get out of here.
Did they know the Monty Williams story?
I mean,
Like the fact that he's doing what he's doing. Oh
Right.
my goodness.
who even cares about his story? I mean, his story is unbelievable. Look at what he's
done
done
on
to
the
this team
to do
this year.
both is unbelievable.
I mean, it's amazing. So Phoenix up 1-0 in that series.
Is it a multiple TV extravaganza at this point? Do I need to buy a second television? Because I can't keep up. I was watching only LSU baseball, and I knew the playoff games were on, but I didn't know how to. I can't go
use your
picture in
computer for
picture.
one?
No,
Like
I
computer
didn't.
or iPad.
Staying at my
TV?
brother's house. He doesn't have the Wi-Fi isn't hooked
Yes.
up the right way,
Okay.
and he's in the Virgin Islands, and he's not helping me at all. And I was like texting him, and he's like, "Dude, I'm not worried about it." I was like, "Well, I'm not worried about it now. I'm leaving this house."
So you're
But-
house sitting.
Yes,
Nice.
house sitting, feeding
Good
the
for
cat.
you.
Yeah,
Like it.
It is nice.
Feeding the cat. Y'all are cat people, aren't you?
Randy
Apparently.
Lanois says he's outside working on his 3rd cup of coffee.
Coffee?
love
See, that's way
that.
too many, dude.
Well, it's a good life, man.
That is a
you know
good
what I mean?
life.
At 8:43 in the morning, you're working on number 3 outside. You got nothing to do.
I know that. Why drink so much coffee?
He's looking for energy, bro.
And what a great guy to have a cup of coffee with.
The best.
Outside. I'd
The
love
best.
that.
We're still looking for that field trip, Ran. as he's usually got a small town in Louisiana with some diner or some food that we can get away.
Yeah.
Probably some fried seafood.
Call Guy Fieri. He's worth it. He's got $80 million after 3 years, $80 million, making more than Nick Saban.
Making more than NFL quarterbacks, bro. Good show today. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Frank Wilson with his high energy stopping in at 8 a.m. telling us about some of the camps coming up. They'll have an elite showcase camp coming up with LSU coaches Ogeron, and the crew will link up with Frank Wilson on June 19th and then June 25th? June 24th.
Do you know, it said 2019 LSU staff. Is Joe Brady making that trek?
No way.
That's
No way.
good marketing then.
No way. Yes.
Yeah,
it was
he
just
did say that.
Just a nice
Just said
little
guest
little
coaches.
draw.
Catch the eye.
Nice little draw there.
Maybe you will, though.
I'd imagine that DJ Mangus would
Is he
be
the headliner?
the 2019 staff member
Dave
that we can
Aranda.
pull there.
Yeah.
No.
Dave Aranda. When are we going to get him back on just to relax us?
Yes. The smooth sounds.
Of Dave
his voice,
Aranda.
yes.
He hit a little
of
right
the
up on
killer.
Yes, that's what's more intimidating is that he's got more on the brain than you can imagine.
He does.
And he's just very calm all about it.
The Hannibal Lecter
Yes,
soundbite
that
plays
is.
well there.
Remember someone said it sounded like he was rolling over in bed to have that interview with you, and it totally did.
And a
sound
bottle
like
of
that.
Chianti.
Yes, a fava beans. Oh God, I hope he's not, dude.
So we put him in the nickel package.
Put him in a straitjacket.
All right,
my
tomorrow
goodness.
Shay Dixon will be here tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, right, dude.
This bit has become more.
Him and Jack are having coffee
I
together.
mean, this guy just spinning us like a top, bro.
And we're at his mercy. We need him.
We
I mean,
really
this was-
are.
it was
People are
his
like,
idea
"Shay,
to
come
be
on
here."
in."
Yeah. Oh, what day was it?
Sunday night.
Oh yeah, he
Like,
was
bro,
into one.
Tuesday morning looks
You
perfect.
can't commit to something on a Sunday night. You're not in the
Not
right
any
state of
weekend
mind.
night.
Should we cold call him?
No.
Yes.
You want to
Oh
cold
my
call him?
God, I'm
Yes.
so panicked.
Just mess
right
with him.
now. Hey, while you're calling him, I have a question about the game last night that I forgot to bring up.
Okay.
I don't enjoy spitting or watching people spit,
Good to know.
but there was a guy spitting. It's like I'm just walking in.
Uh-huh.
So there was a guy, I don't remember the player, but he's holding that rally hat or whatever, and
I
he's
saw
spitting.
that.
And okay, y'all did.
I saw
spitting
that.
I saw
into
him-
it like
So
constantly.
I saw it, and then
I
I saw him
saw
move
that.
the hat. So I was like, did he move the hat the first time?
No,
I think it was
saw
what's his
he's
name?
spitting
Drost.
into the
It was
hat.
Drost.
And he had
It was
shades.
Drost.
And he had shades on.
Yeah.
I mean, his look was a mood.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
working up the spit. You can see it to
Yeah.
keep going. It's like a panic spitting.
Oh,
into that
it's a
hat.
rally
Why?
spit.
No,
Okay,
why
well, yeah.
into the hat? And
Because-
what
but-
happens after that when all the spit
You win
in
a
the
baseball
hat?
game.
Yeah, as a former
someone
dugout
put it
dog.
on?
It's just the weirdness of baseball. Bro.
Yeah, exactly.
weird.
Such a weird
And
sport.
dude,
That's
is so
something
weird.
I've not
They
seen.
rip off the jersey of the guy that
Yeah,
gets the
I
game
mean,
winning
it's just a
home
lot,
run. It's
but-
weird.
That's different. Okay, rip
Unless
off the
you're
jersey.
Jose Altuve.
Yeah, don't touch my mic. Hot mic. Hot
Watch that
mic.
mic. Watch that buzzer. Watch that buzzer.
Don't rip that
Watch that
jersey off.
buzzer. Watch that buzzer.
But yeah, if you're in the dugout and you do that one time and you get a hit, you have to do it the rest of the game. That's
But
exactly
why-
what happened.
like-
Because it's good luck. It's just the juju. You don't mess with the juju.
I've been thinking about that hat. It was the first thing I thought of when I woke up this morning. Like, where's that hat? What does it smell
Puts
like?
it on
What
his
do they
head,
do?
Might be
dude.
on his head.
Pops
Did
Yeah.
someone
He's
put it
He'll
on
frame
their
that
head? I'm,
thing.
like,
He's playing in
gagging
it.
thinking
Yes.
about it.
He's playing in it for sure.
Oh.
Probably got more spit in there now. Spitting in it
I
today.
cannot even.
For sure. I
Gag.
mean, baseball players. The
It's
weirdest.
worth it.
That's a
yeah,
weird
it's
one,
The
though.
strangest.
Jumping over, they still jump over the line. Love
Still
that.
jump over the lines.
Had to explain that to some people yesterday. Like, what are they doing? It's like, bad luck, dude.
I mean,
Watch
like-
out.
Been forwarded
Oh,
to
of
an
course. This
Oh,
guy.
Shay.
You leave him a voicemail?
Shay.
1-818-2,
Absolutely.
We're leaving a
3,
voicemail.
7, 6.
He's
Is not
listening right
available.
now. Like, what the hell?
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1.
Hey, Shade Ball.
Shay.
We're calling you about the spot that you booked on Sunday night. I've texted you 4 times and you have not answered. What the hell is going on? I hate to sound like the psycho friend, but call me back.
See you tomorrow.
The best move would be if he walked in right now.
Yes.
No way you're not
The
calling.
psycho dial.
The double dial works on me every
The
time.
double
dude.
dial will get you.
I'm
It must be an
Is
emergency.
everything okay?
Yes,
Yeah, everything's
yes.
fine, bro. I just wanted to
You're
make sure you
live.
were alive.
the double call. My friends know to do that to me. Like they'll call me once they know I won't answer, and then they'll call me again, and it works every
Yes,
time.
because you're like, well, something's wrong.
Yeah, no,
Look at
but
this guy. I've seen Shay. He
Call
walks
has been
around with his
forwarded to an
phone on his
automatic
palm
He
all
does.
day
Oh,
long.
yeah, he's on it now.
Staring at us, calling him.
he's trying to get this
He
recruiting
is
news.
blood red right now
Dude.
and panicked.
This guy. This dude, man.
He's trying to get our recurring guest figure out his whatever his recruiting. Our boy, the D tackle. He's probably talking to him.
Walter Nolan.
Walter.
Walter Nolan.
So what happened with Big Walt?
He tweeted.
Somebody freaked him out?
I don't know. He
tweeted-
went to Florida.
I saw. I
don't know.
mean, I
went to
saw.
a Florida
He was like, I'm
camp,
shutting down the process.
And then he tweeted,
I'm
shutting
over
down
it.
my recruitment process after he left the Florida camp. So it
And
just
making
looked
a
like-
decision, he wrote.
Yeah,
And
it
making
looked
a
like-
And
decision.
then Big Walt, and then the dad steps in and say, hey, hold up.
He said he's
I'm
getting tired.
still collecting offers
I'm
myself.
negotiating behind the scenes here, Junior. So I'll let you know when this is over.
But the dad interpreted the tweet as he said he's getting tired of it. Well, that's not what he said in the tweet.
And you know what's even better? You talk about crazy X's in the double dial. Texas A&M, they're like, we're going to re-offer you. You have a standing offer to come here.
Walter, are you sitting down? Look, man, we want to apologize about the last couple of months. We've rethought it over here. We want to reoffer.
We've offered you. We're offering again.
It's very strange. So he hasn't come to LSU yet, right? He hasn't made the trip here.
Not officially.
Okay.
Not officially. And the difference between an unofficial visit and an official visit is that on an unofficial visit, you pay your way. Like you show up, you stay at a hotel that you book, you eat the food that you go and, make reservations for. Yeah, you do. I mean,
don't just say
by the
that?
letter of the, I mean,
Okay.
maybe not Walter Nolan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
That's how it's supposed to go.
that's that's the letter of the law. But on
Okay.
an official visit, they bring you in. LSU would make transportation arrangements to bring you in if needed. For a guy like Walter Nolan, who could probably just drive over here, he'll get to campus. He'll have a hotel room set up for him. He'll have dinner reservations with the coaching staff. They usually go to Texas de Brazil.
Yes.
Do they really?
Clean the
Just
place
clean-
out.
It's-
So random.
That
That's
has to
not
be
what I thought.
That has to be an awful time for the Texas Day Brazil wait staff.
my
like,
God.
oh my God, they just rolled in with 15 300-pounders.
Yes.
Like,
Bring more
Starving.
rolls.
starving. They've been waiting all day
Starving.
for this.
And then like on Saturday you would go see the academic side of the school. Like, for a kid like Walter Nolan, you would ask him, what do you want your major to be? Let's say he says sports management. You go spend the day learning about sports management curriculum. You meet advisors, counselors, tutors, administrators, everybody on the academic side. That's a big day to, kind of really extend your best foot to the parents, to the decision makers, to the people that are behind the scenes that are helping a kid like Walter, is our example here, through this process. A lot of those discussions are, making the parent or whoever is overseeing it comfortable in leaving their child behind with you, right? For 3 to 4 years, maybe 5 years. And then from there you go to the football facility and it turns into football porn. You show the facilities, you let them get into the uniform and take the picture. You
Take 'em to the field.
You take them to the field. You take them into a kid like Walter Nolan. You take them into the defensive line room and show them video of past guys that have come through here that you're going to use Walter Nolan like. You probably got a guy like Glenn Dorsey.
Chad
Lavallee. Glenn Dorsey is the most decorated defensive player, in LSU football history, and played Walter Nolan's position. So, a phone call or a face-to-face or somebody, like Glenn Dorsey just walking into the facility while Walter Nolan happens to be there on coincidence, makes a lot of sense. That's where you really show off on an official
How
visit.
cool is that? I would love to do that.
But
I'm
like
sure
an-
you've gotten close.
An unofficial visit, like I remember Dylan Moses. Dylan Moses had carte blanche access to the LSU football program, and that would be an unofficial visit. But he was practicing and playing, literally on the facilities camp. And when you kick a field goal at University High's football field, it goes into the practice facilities parking lot at LSU. So Dylan Moses, who, by the way, his 8th grade brother was offered a scholarship by LSU over the weekend.
Really?
Keelan Moses.
He gave Kim and son Jacob. He played for Parkview in middle school. Gave him a concussion.
Just by
Got one caught. Jacob
looking
caught
at
one
him?
over the middle and just
bam. The highlights that he put out, Keelan Moses, and looks like the Terminator in 8th grade.
will be a freshman.
Gonna be a freshman, but the
Get to know a
the
freshman.
highlights that he put out against
Yeah.
Parkview and Dunham look illegal.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I mean he shouldn't be allowed. on the field.
I've never been in
Oh,
a situation
my
where I would be like, but I think I would probably go take my kid off the field.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If he was out there, just because, and I'm not knocking him.
Yeah.
I'm just
Not
saying
his fault.
Safety.
he could kill somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Oh
he,
my God.
I mean, like, there are kids bouncing off of him. It looks like Brandon Jacobs running through a high school field.
Is he doing the same thing that Dylan did playing running back and
I mean, at this point, he has to.
yeah, you just
know,
give him the ball.
Just because he's the biggest and
Yeah.
the fastest and the strongest.
How big is he? Like, what's his height
He's
and
probably
weight?
6'1", 190.
Oh, let me
Okay.
see.
Oh my, yeah, that's what he looks like.
I mean, he's probably around there and runs probably
Got the dreads of
4'6",
doom.
4'7". I mean, dreads down his back.
Oh my God.
He
Yeah.
looks like Dylan.
He does.
You know what I
Looks like
mean?
carbon copy.
I mean, he looks like Dylan.
See if we can
did.
get that one, huh?
But like that would be like Keelan Moses unofficially can come over anytime he wants.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody like Arch Manning, somebody like Eli Holstein at Zachary, somebody like Walker Howard. You know, I mean, he sends Ogeron a text message and says, "I'm on my way over," and he's got, you know, I mean, he's a player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's treated like a player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He can go in there and get the treatment. He can go in there, and I don't know if he does all that, but because I don't know what the legality. But you know what I mean? Once it opens up the facility on an unofficial visit, and you're there, you're as good as on the roster.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, how did we get there?
I don't remember, but I'm glad we did.
I know.
Oh, our boy Big
Wall.
Walt.
Walter
Yeah.
Nolan.
Big Walter Nolan.
Yeah, the tweet.
He's too good. He's not shutting it down right now.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even know what he just did. He was like, "That was a mistake." If you didn't want attention, you just got a whole lot more of it.
like, God, dog, look at this, man. We might have a shot.
Put my feet up this morning.
Right. Okay.
Big Walt had a good time.
All
huh?
right. He likes the challenger.
Just likes the colors.
Yeah, right. All right, good stuff today. We appreciate Frank Wilson for stopping by. Good stuff from Mason Katz, Hunt Palmer on LSU Baseball, and
Why don't you
Tigers
cold call
staying
Walt? See
alive.
what he's up to.
Oh my God, please don't.
Really and truly,
won't make
if
it.
we could have recorded the conversation between Walt and I the night before, that was the chat.
Yeah.
That was the interview.
I mean, if you remember, I came in the next morning feeling very confident.
You did.
Yes.
Like, we talked to Walt the night before. I mean, I was like, Walt, you're going to have a great opportunity here, bro.
Good.
I mean, stepping into some name, image, and likeness stuff, let them know who you are, big fella.
Said we got a lot of blinker.
God,
Just
but you
backfired.
handled that thing like,
Just
I
backfired.
mean,
Just
it was
backfired.
amazing.
Hey,
Backfired.
doors always open. Unofficial can come on in
Absolutely.
anytime.
Absolutely. Anytime you open it up, especially to the younger crowd.
Do y'all want a
you know that
Benifer
it's a gamble.
update before we go?
For sure.
She is scouting schools in L.A.,
Benifer.
meaning she's going to move her kids across the country to be with them because allegedly they want to spend as much time as possible together.
Why? Her primary residence is in
Miami.
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 I thought he'd be like a New York guy.
See,
like
that's probably
Boston, Mass.
that's probably one of J-Lo's problems. I mean, who am I to diagnose relationship problems? But I mean, if
Here, let me tell you something, Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo, sit down and listen. You probably sacrifice too much for these dudes, man. I mean, you're going to pick up your life in Miami, which I'm sure is a hell of a life.
Yeah, I've seen her house there. It's
I mean, she lives on Star Island.
unbelievable.
I mean, I think there's only
Yeah.
27 people that live on the island.
Yeah.
And it's a quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround. I mean, you got to kid your kids. Why do the kids have to leave school?
I know.
You know what I mean, why do they have to change their life?
She is quick to
Because
fall in
she
love.
can.
She is,
She
bro.
is.
She
And I
needs to
started
learn how-
typing all this. And
That's
I
what I'm
was like,
saying.
wait.
That's her
I was
problem.
like,
Yeah,
I
she
can't
does- she
say
gets
a
in
whole
too
lot
quick.
here. I'm not going
Jenny
to
from the
judge
block.
her. I mean, we're like, what are you doing? Why would you fall in love and move for somebody? I mean,
Because this is the mistake she makes every time.
She does.
She's doing it again. She's falling into her own trap again.
she
She's honey
does.
trapping herself.
She loves love. Who are we to judge?
Yeah.
Well-
Until it becomes real.
That's true.
Until it becomes
But
real.
they've already been there. They've already been engaged. I mean,
It's a-
they've been
it's a
in
safe
the thick
space.
of it.
She's a wrecker. That's
It's
what
a-
she is. She likes the chaos.
It's a safe space. She does like the chaos.
She does.
She
But
does like the
A lot
chaos.
of
I
people
agree
do.
with
Why
that.
not? Chaos is fun, interesting. I mean,
Especially in that, in that type of star power,
yeah,
I'd imagine that cool and calm is probably boring, bro.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, put me on the front of Us Weekly with Ben on some beach with a back tat and blame me for that 13 years
Smoking
ago.
cigarettes while you have a six pack.
See if I care. Crack on A-Rod moving the Timberwolves to Seattle and blame it all on me. I don't give a damn.
She
That's
doesn't.
what it is, dude. She misses. There's times when she misses the outlet of the star power. She's like, you know what? I need to get back
I
in the
agree.
news a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yes.
Oh,
And it
okay,
takes
little
no
ego.
time for
Jenny
her to
from
get
the
back
block.
in.
Yeah, it stays hot.
To me, that is who she is at heart.
Yeah.
That's who she is. You know what I mean? She's just
Get
an
it.
up-and-comer trying to elbow her way to the table.
But she's at the table.
Now she's
She
got
is,
to.
but like
She didn't like that table anymore.
like the insecure star that she is, she's never felt welcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anytime she feels like, hey, they're letting me in,
Yeah.
she has to say, hey, look who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me bounce around the world with Ben.
That's a
why
power couple.
that's
Bigger
why
than A-Rod.
That's why I feel like she made so much sense with A-Rod. They had such a commonality in that,
They
where they never
did.
felt like people actually liked them. They just wanted to be liked.
Yeah.
So maybe too similar in that regard.
I don't
It's
think
like,
it
you
was
know
enough
what? I need
for
a little
her.
edgy.
Yeah, I don't think it was enough for her either.
Yeah, like Ben's a star, or was. I mean, he is, but, he was a huge star.
And
Like,
she
that's-
probably thinks that A-Rod can probably beat her at her own game.
Yeah. Maybe.
what I
I
mean?
don't know. I mean,
Maybe
know
when
what
they
I
go
mean?
out
Like,
together, a lot of eyes on A-Rod.
He's an attention whore.
Yes, he wears makeup as a man.
He obviously was doing some shady stuff, which I think Jen, as quick as her and Ben has picked this thing up, I got to imagine some type of DM or text message was happening
Absolutely.
There was
somewhere.
a different phone vibrating. Like,
Somewhere.
let me hear you.
absolutely.
Yeah, right. He was texting you at 2 a.m.
Whose phone is
That was
this?
my assistant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't just start looking for schools like 2 months after
Exactly.
you're like together and moving your
Exactly.
kids across the country.
Exactly.
But again, not judging, just saying.
At all.
It's quick.
At all.
It's quick.
So, J-Lo, I'll bill you. We take Venmo, we take PayPal. You can send the check personally to JordyCulottaShow.com.
Oh, I had this quick question. I thought of this because at the wedding, if you have, because we had the rehearsal dinner, if you have food in your teeth or like boog on your nose,
Tell somebody,
Do you
bro.
tell people?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I always tell
Have
people.
respect.
Yes.
Have
Nobody
some
wants that
respect.
there.
Nobody
No.
wants
They
that
do it on
there.
purpose.
And if you go
Absolutely.
in the bathroom and you see like a piece of pepper in your tooth, I come out and I'm like, what the hell, y'all?
This could have been
I'm
there for
talking to you
45
the
minutes.
whole
It's
time,
more
right
embarrassing to be
there.
clueless of it than to be told.
Yes.
about it.
100%.
Because you're just
100%.
flashing your smile around or whatever
Uh-huh,
it is.
thinking
It's
you
like,
look
"That's
good."
a damn
Especially if
word."
you're in the moment telling a story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're
Yes.
feeling it, and everybody's just kind of like, this poor dude. Don't
I
even know. He's got a
know.
booger hanging out of his nostril.
I confront
bat
people
in the
about it.
cave.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
man.
You tell
I
somebody.
think everybody needs one friend.
I think I'm that person.
And I could be that person if you need it to be
Same.
as well.
I will tell you.
But now that I'm in a relationship, I expect my partner to be that person. Like you
Yes.
coming out of the bathroom in a wedding, you should have been pissed off at your partner, being like, "Yo, bro, you're not
Yes.
going to tell me I got something in my teeth."
Exactly.
But I think that if you don't have that partner, you should at least have that person in your life that says, "Don't wear that,"
Yeah.
or
Life caddy.
"Don't call that person right now,"
Yeah.
or "Don't say that again."
They might not listen to you.
They might not,
But
but,
they'll
at least
come-
you
they'll
have
remember.
that voice that says,
Yeah.
A conscience.
that was dumb."
Yeah.
Accountability.
Right.
Yes.
And, like I've heard that from my person and my partner and been like, "Shut the bleep up.
I'm rolling
I'll
here.
handle this like I want to handle it." But I walk away thinking, you know what? She was probably right. She was probably right. I sound like an asshole right now. I sound like a dumbass.
Burn the tapes.
But at least it was said. You know what I mean? And I come back maybe 24, 48, 72, maybe 3 weeks later,
Stop.
72 hours later,
28
and
years.
say, "You were right. I'm sorry. Thank you for telling me that. I needed that. I needed to hear that. I appreciate that very much." Just because I think we all need that one person that says, "Bro, pick your teeth."
Yes, help
Before
me.
you tell that story.
Yes.
Go grab a toothpick and get that piece of spinach out the middle of your tooth
Yes.
before you start trying to make everybody laugh.
So do they think it's on us to go to the bathroom after you eat and like go, well, you should have just checked. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that. Like, I'm like, oh, bro, he doesn't know. Just go help him out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll do it
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop in there.
I mean,
Yeah.
really and true. If you're about to get into this story, just look that way. Let me. Got it.
Because then you
Got it.
start doing the teeth guessing game, and it's a whole disaster when they're going this way, this
Nope,
way. It's
nope,
like,
that-
yeah,
that
just
one,
let me
that-
do it, and we're good, dude.
I had a friend in high school that would pull out pieces of her hair and floss with it.
Oh my God.
Like at a restaurant or in the back,
Wow.
like to make sure. And I would just stare
Wow.
like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like,
you should have been
can't
that
unsee
friend,
that.
but you should have been
I
the
think
friend
that's
that
too far
said,
gone.
Libby,
Flossing
whatever
with
her
the
name
hair.
was. You know what I
I'm not
mean?
gonna say her
Harriet.
name, but
Julie, stop.
Figure it
You know
out.
what I mean?
very strange.
Floss
thing to
sticks are
do.
90 cents.
Don't do that.
I've never forgotten it.
Oh, I bet
Exactly.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a very strange thing to do. Because
No,
I'd be
that's
like,
an
oh, I think I
impactful
have something in my
type of-
tooth. She's like, look, just pull a piece. And I'd be like,
So here, you
"Wait,
can use
no,
mine."
I know. Here's it. She had
mine.
beautiful, long, thick hair, but still.
It's like a horse mane.
Her hair was like a horse mane. So I guess it worked.
Maybe
but,
there's a trick to it. Maybe it makes your hair
I don't
stronger.
know. I've never forgotten that.
No.
Everybody needs that friend, and if you don't have that friend, look around, man. I mean, something might be up with you.
You're in a lonely spot there.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll
these
floss
aren't your
all
friends.
your teeth with my hair.
Yeah.
Try to be somebody's friend and see if you can't get one and see how that works out for you. You know what I mean? Like, hey, bro, you got a booger. I don't know you, man.
Yeah. Hey, would you rather know or not? I'm that guy for
I'm
you
just
now.
telling you, you got a big crusty booger on that
Yeah.
right nostril right now that I'm either going to get or you need to get.
Yeah.
Is
Don't
it
go to
more
that. Don't go talk to
embarrassing
that
have
girl.
that or a tooth thing? Something in your
Oh,
tooth
the
or your
boogers
nose?
are the worst.
Yeah,
booger,
for sure. I think so too.
Well, yeah. Yeah, bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, boog's probably the worst.
Yeah.
Food in the teeth.
It just happens to anybody.
Everyone, yeah. I mean, yeah. You just ate.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's like, hey, blow your nose.
Yeah,
like,
the booger's like you don't take care of
Yes.
yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Nasty.
You're like a snot nosed kid.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I am.
A trashy dude, Jordy.
Yeah.
Pick his
Got
nose.
boogers always hanging out. That's the
Tennis
bathroom
shoes
a lot.
every day, bro. I don't know. What's up with that
Pushes
guy?
off his dentist appointments.
Scared of the dentist.
Thinks it's Wednesday on Monday.
Appreciate you watching the show. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning. Shay Dixon will be here.
Shay.
Bastard. Still haven't called back.
No.
I mean, what
Sweating
a dick.
us, dude.
I mean, what a dick.
Getting frozen out by Shay.
Sheesh.
Thought we were cool. Just when you think you know somebody.